Today we review the Emoji Movie. Just kidding!
Hey YouTube, this is Peck Tech and Keifel. And so we went to see The Dark Tower. What did you think?
Well, I have been a huge fan of those books, and I actually came in with no expectations. I last read the Dark Tower books about 13 years ago, and I was kind of thinking, oh, I should read this before I come into this, and then went, let's go in blank. And I'm a little disappointed, to say the least.
Yeah.
When you try to cram, I think, 8 books worth of material into an hour and a half, you are going to run into problems. It is very slapdash. There's a lot of hopping all over the place. And a friend of ours that came to see it with us was completely and utterly confused because he didn't have any frame of reference.
So you've actually read all the books?
I have not read all the books. I have a general idea of where I've read most of the books, and I've read some of the ancillary stories. And this is just it's a grab bag. It's like, we're going to take some stuff from this book that happened in the middle of that book, and then we're going to cut, the next scene is going to be from a completely different book near the beginning or near the middle.
Well, we won't spoil the actual plot. Just in case you get confused, this is the entire series.
Yes, this is the entire series.
Are there 9 books? Or
so it's 8 or 9 books worth of material, because there's the stuff that's labeled the Dark Tower, and then there is the Talisman that Stephen King wrote with Peter Straub also has a number of elements that tie into the Dark Tower, and that actually, some of those elements get introduced into this movie. What I did like about the movie, Idris Elba was amazing. Yeah. Matthew McConaughey is, in his resurgence. Who'd have thought? All right. One of the serious sort of character actors of this generation. Other thing that I liked about this movie were the small touches. There were a lot of hints. If you've read the books, you're going to notice tiny things. There is a lot of illustrations of roses stenciled everywhere. There is the Crimson King is written on walls in various places. There are also touches to the Stephen King universe, period. There is a...
Well, he's sort of... Yeah, I think he used this series of books to kind of make a shared universe out of all of his works.
Yeah, yeah, because in one of the scenes, the kid is playing with a car that is clearly Christine.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like tiny little elements
and they call psychic powers the shine.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Maybe there's too much stuff. Maybe they should have taken a little risk and probably done 1 or 2 books as the first movie and tried to establish a series. But this was just, they tried too hard to put too much stuff into one very short film, considering, it's 95 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't even a long film at all, but it felt like it dragged in spots, definitely.
Yeah, they should have, especially considering that we are getting accustomed to 2-hour runtimes. Yeah, it's not a matter of the runtime; it's a matter of what if you can put this together well.
I gotta say that, like, for me overall, I enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it,
but I'd only read 2 of the books, and that was in high school. He took too long to write the 3rd book, and I wasn't going to go back and read it again. I was just like, no, I liked the first 2 books. Okay, I did not recognize almost, except for his, I do not aim with my hand. He who's aimed with his hand has forgotten the face of his. That whole mantra thing, I remember that.
There was a lot of stuff in there that I remember. I'm going to reread it. If you've read the books, don't go in with high expectations.
It's not the books.
Yeah, if you've not read the books, this is it's average summer fare at best.
It was a good action flick. Just don't associate it with the books too heavily, or you'll be disappointed. Because the books were a franchise.
Yeah.
So they even if they condensed 3 books into one film, it could have been a franchise.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Sony has. I was reading something today. Sony has lost $86 billion this quarter, and this is not going to help. Sony has made quite a number of missteps this summer. I don't think they've had anything that's been successful this summer.
Wasn't Spider-Man? Did Spider-Man do okay?
Spider-Man, but Spider-Man. You have to think that Spider-Man was only successful because Marvel kind of went, okay, we're coming back. We're gonna help you out a little bit, but left to their own devices, it's just like,
I think the executives there to me this, like, although I generally enjoyed it, I think the less you know about it, the more you will like this movie, and I think that it was sort of a cowardly film to make.
Yes.
Because they condensed so much information into
one. Yeah, and it's the thing about actually. Writers like Stephen King and Neil Gaiman, it's hard to translate what they write into what is effectively a short form.
Right.
Stephen King is so detailed and so meticulous in his writing, it's kind of hard to go, okay, I'm going to cram this into an hour and a half. The successful Stephen King movies have been The Shining, which basically Stanley Kubrick did his own thing, and Stephen King apparently hates that version of the movie.
Really?
Yeah. Carrie and Christine. Carrie works for the simple fact that it's a more human story, but stuff like that's more a fantasy epic probably needs to be redone as a mini-series, or like Amazon or HBO, one of them needs to kind of go, okay, we're going to grab this and remake this.
Yeah, you make it into more of a long-form production.
Yep.
Especially with the way special effects are these days. These shows on Netflix and things, they're just long movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The success of Game of Thrones should be it's kind of the benchmark where you have this epic universe. Don't try to cram it in an hour and a half. You build a universe. You build your universe over a period of time.
Well, and this stuff's it's made for TV. I mean, not every movie is going to be a Harry Potter where you can drag it out for years.
You're right.
How long? I mean, that was like a 10-year-long span.
Yeah, but the thing is that what made Harry Potter successful in that span is that the kids that started reading it when they were 9 and 10, or their parents were reading it with them, those are the kids that went to the movies, and as the Harry Potter kids got older, those kids got older, and they grew with these movies.
They grew together.
Yeah. So, and that is why those were successful. So, in conclusion, the Dark Tower, it did not shoot straight. It has forgotten the face of its father.
Yes. He who has condensed a great set of novels into Cliff Notes has forgotten the face of their father.
All right, so I think that's it for this week.
That's it. We'll be back real soon with more films and more opinions.
And more thoughts on things.
And more thoughts, deep thoughts on many, many things. Until next time, folks, follow your bliss. Go see a film, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Ciao. Pew, pew, pew.
Hey, YouTube, this is Peck.
Mic check. Hello, my name is Steve. Thank you for calling Movie Phone. If you know the name of the movie you'd like to see, press 1. If you don't know the name of the movie, press 2.
Let's be friends.
Why can't we be friends?
We can.
We did it. Yeah. Okay.